I
Okay, Kimani, welcome to our classes. How many classes did you take? Did you take with me?
so this is
How
my
many
first
classes?
time.
First time. Okay. Have you ever taken reading or writing classes, or do you
No
have
sir,
any experience? Do you have any experience about IELTS?
no sir. I have totally no experience.
Okay, thank you, Akimun. Could you please explain about your educational background?
Yes sir, I have completed my graduation in Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, and now and my post graduation is running in pharmacology.
Pharmacology. Well done. Was your education English medium?
Yes sir. It is public university, and now it is all about, and I have completed all of
English
my stuff.
medium.
Education.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
So why you need to appear, need to sit for IELTS examination?
Uh, uh, Basically, sir, I have a dream
Mhm.
uh, to complete, to attend or postgraduate in another subject in abroad, and my
Good.
first choice is England.
Okay, Akimani, welcome. I hope you can do, but you have to know some information regarding IELTS as you are looking to have first graduation in abroad, some country. So I basically I have completed my first graduation from Cambridge University with a scholarship. My IELTS score was 8.5, and I was working. I had worked with British Council as IELTS examiner for long times. So I like to share my experience as you are looking to have first graduation from any reported university. It is depend on you. If you, I think you can do better. Your background is English, so if you as a public university. I was from public university, Chittagong University. My department was English, so it helped me to achieve 8.5 score. So I like to recommend you if you work hard, if you understand about IELTS, if you take our all the classes, I think you have your target will be 8 score, then you can have a scholarship any country in the world. I hope from you. Before that, I like to give you some idea. IELTS mean International English Language Testing System. This is a language test. It is operated by Cambridge University, UK. Approximately 140 countries. The test is familiar. People are taking the test for studying Australia, Canada, or some first world country. So my recommendation for the student who are from public university who have an English background, they have potentiality to have 8 score. I will help you. I will try my best to provide you this your desired score. One thing you have to know, the IELTS, the what thing you have to plan, what you how you will prepare yourself to achieve 8 score or 8 plus score. First of all, there are 4 modules. I like to show you some things of the module. Then you can gather idea. 4 module of IELTS: reading, writing, speaking, listening. Um, listening part, and writing part. Um, uh, but the thing is that in IELTS tests, there is nothing common. You never have something common in IELTS as you had common in your academic career, in your honors examination. But in your final exam of IELTS, there is nothing common you can have. Depend on your practice, on your basic English, on your basic knowledge, because the exam is regarded as a language test. As you can see in the screen, this is an IELTS practice test book, Cambridge IELTS, and I like to recommend you to collect these kinds of books. You can have in Dhaka, if you visit any international library in Dhaka, or the library you buy your medical books, you can have the books. It's called the Cambridge IELTS. There are lots of volumes of books you can collect for volume number 11 to 16 volumes, and you can practice the books. The thing is that IELTS is that there are 4 parts. As you can see, part one is part. Listening part is a part where you have to listen some recording. When you understand the recording, you have to answer 40 questions. For example, your target is to achieve 8 score in listening part. And among 40 questions, you have to write, you have to ensure correct answer 35. Or if you are looking to have 7 score in listening part, among 40, you have to ensure correct 30 answer. Then you can do good in the listening part. But the thing is that uh, challenging for you in the listening part is that if you are not familiar with British accent, or if you don't know how the British people speak, you cannot understand the listening. So you need to practice, you need to keep touch with us, our classes. If you take our classes, you can have good score, and we will try to best our level best to train you to have expected score. Then you can have a listening part. Then you have listening part is about um, 30 minutes recording. There are 4 sections, 40 questions. And reading part, in the reading part, you will have 3 passages. And by reading 3 large passages, the passages are not commons. And any sorts of passages will be given in your exam, in your real test, maybe from science background, maybe from geography, maybe any sort of passages will be given in your real test. You have to read and change. Today's classes, we will solve the reading passage. You can understand. You have to read and about understand. Then you have to answer 40 questions in an hour. And if you are looking to have 7 score, you have to make correct 30 question. If you are looking to have 8 score, you have to make that 35 question at least. We will train you. Then the writing module. Writing is that the in writing task, you will have 2 tasks. And as you are the newcomers, I recommend you in our Facebook group, you can have our classes, reading classes, writing classes. You can have you can watch our classes and get the idea. So writing test is 2 tasks. You have to write 2 tasks in an hour. Task 1 about regarding a fixer. Whatever you understand the fixer, you have to write something of your own knowledge in 20 minutes. Then second task 2 is about essay writing. You have to write in at least 250 word in 40 minutes. This is about the IELTS. Now I like to give you some idea about more thing about IELTS. As you can see in the screen, look at, this is the listening module. And the listening module, there are 4 sections. You are going to answer 40 questions. The question type is here. As you can see in the screen, this type of question. And once you understand recording, in your exam hall, they play some recording. And if you understand the recording, you can answer, you can note the answer in your answer sheet. This is the question, you can answer sheets. Like this, you will have to answer 40 questions. 40 questions you will have to answer. This is listening in 30 minutes. But rest of the record, when the record is end, you will given 10 minutes to specify your answer. Now, we will discuss about reading part. Reading part is a module. There are 3 passages like this. As you can see, there are 3 passages like this. A large one passage, and like this large one passage. And you have to answer like this question. Like this question have to be answered. Three passages, this one, the passage 2, question like this, passage 3, question like this. Total 40 question have to be answered in the reading part. And I recommend you, we have conducted many classes and you can watch our class video.
Okay.
This is about writing task. In the writing task, as I have mentioned, there are two tasks. Task one, regarding a picture you can have. When you understand the picture, you have to answer, you have to write, you have to make a report regarding the picture, what do you understand? In 20 minutes, at least 150 words. Then is a writing task two. In the writing task two, you have to write an essay, the everything at least 250 words in 40 minutes. Then we will have to have speaking module. Speaking module is a Viva test. In 15 minutes, examiner will ask you some question like this. You have to answer. Just about the IELTS. I think you understand.
Yes, sir.
Now, in today's classes, I hope from you I expected a score 7 plus, 7.5 or 8 score. If you try, you can do better. If you can understand, you can ask me, I will help you. I will try my best. So
Okay,
I am expecting you a good score. Now let's start about the reading part. Writing part. Today's class is about writing part. Okay, this is about writing reading part, and this is from the Cambridge 11. We already solved many classes. As you know, in the reading part, we are instructed to answer 40 questions. The question type are variety. We have discussed, and you can watch my video. Okay, today's classes we are going to solve this kinds of question. And the first technique, not to start reading the passages first. This is our first technique. We directly go to the question and look through the question, what kinds of question it is. Earlier I mentioned in the reading part, there are 7 types of questions you have to answer. And each type of question has a special strategy. Now, we go to the question first. Can anyone say what kinds of question it is?
Gap filling.
Mr. Nazmul Islam, could you please tell me what kinds of question it is?
So it is a filling the blanks question.
fill in the gaps.
True, false, not given. Oh, sorry, it's about the fill in the blank. Okay. In terms of answering fill in the blanks, what strategy, what technique we need to follow? Gap, fill in the blanks. Okay, gap filling. Thank you. So now we have to discuss, we have to learn. And in earlier classes, we solved this kinds of question, how to answer fill in the blanks question. The first technique is that the heading of the question is the story of silk. This is the heading. You can note. Then you go to the question. early silk production in China. This is another heading. Then go to the another things. Around 3000 BC, according to the legends, silkworm token fall into emperor wife. Something is missing. Now we need to focus 300 BC. We need to focus silk production, and we need to focus on silkworm token fall into emperor wall. Now we can chart the answer in the passage from the beginning. Please, from the beginning, when you find the emperor wife, when you find in the passage 3000 BC, which line? 3000 BC. Can anyone read the line 3000 BC?
6, line number 6.
Okay, read the line. Then you can find the answer. BC. When you start, legend has that it was Li Taju wife. Li Taju is emperor wife of the Yellow Emperor rule in China in about 3000 BC, who discovered silkworm. I mean, you got the point. Now you can have answer. Where you find the wife's something this. One account of the story goes that as she was talking with the work in her husband's garden, she discovered that silkworm were responsible for her destruction of several mulberry trees. She question again. Okay, question again. Look at the question again. Question number 1. Silkworm token fall. Silkworm token fall into emperor wife something. Now you have to find out in the passage what thing fall down. In this paragraph, when you find 3000 BC, you can start reading 3000 BC, who discovered silkworm. One account of that story goes that as she was talking with work in her husband's garden, she discovered that silkworm were responsible for the destruction of several mulberry trees. She collected a number of tokens and sat down to have the rest. It just so happened that while she was chipping some tea, one of the tokens she had collected landed in the hot tea, started to unravel into the fine thread. Now we got the answer. Can anyone say which is the answer?
Mulberry.
What will be the answer? The answer, not mulberry tree. If you read the question again, emperor wife, silkworm, token fall into emperor wife. Where it fall? Where silkworm fall? Emperor wife is fall. You can look at the line. This line you can have. She collected a number of tokens, sat down to have a rest. It just to happen that while she was sipping some tea, one of the tokens that had collected landed in the hot tea and started to unravel into the fine thread. Now, what will be the answer? Where it fall down? Silkworm fall down in the emperor wife tea. Answer should be tea.
T. T.
Emperor tea. You can note down answer should be tea. Now the thing is that rest of the answer can be found in the same paragraph. You can look to the some things. Okay, next question can go. Question number 2, the same paragraph you can have if you understand the question. Number 2, emperor wife invented a somewhat is missing to pull out the silk fiber. Now, focus the question, main thing of the question. Remember the main thing. Emperor wife invented a dash something to pull out silk fiber. Go to the paragraph. Same paragraph you can have. If you read through the lines, emperor wife invented something, you can have. The next line. One of the cocoon fall she collected landed the hot tea, started to unravel into fine thread. Li Traju found that she could wind this thread around her finger. Subsequently, she requested her husband to allow her to rear silkworm. To rear silkworm on a grove of mulberry tree. She also devised a special reel to draw the fiber from the cocoon into a single thread so that they would be strong. Okay, thank you. Samia Khan, answer should be real. Real. Okay, Samia Khan, answer should be real. Good. Real is answer. Now we have to know how did Samia find out real is answer. If you understand the line, location, read again. She forces her husband to allow her to rear silkworm on a grove of mulberry tree. She also debarks a special reel to draw the fiber from the cocoon into a single thread so that they would be strong enough to be woven into fiber. Well, it is unknown just to match the two. So answer is real. Answer is real. She also debars a special reel to draw the fiber from the cocoon into single thread so that they would have strong enough to be woven into fiber. Same thing in the question they discuss. Emperor wife invented will to pull out Emperor wife invented a will pull out the silk fiber. This is number 2 question. Number 3 question, 4, 5, 6, 7, or all sorts of question can be find. Answer can be find sequentially. Now we have to go with the question number 3. Only days were allowed to produce silk. What thing allowed to produce silk? This breakdown. Rest of the breakdown. She was special draw fiber from the cotton. Okay. Archana, I have mentioned the women's. Archana, where did you find the answer? Please, can you read the line? Can you read the line? Where did you find the answer? Women is
just a moment. After
fiber properly to silk, they would strong enough to be woven. Strong to the woven fiber, well unknown, just the speed is certainly known as the silk has China. Then we need to go here. Go in the paragraph.
originally
Silkworm was solely restricted to women. Originally, silkworm farming was solely restricted to women, and it was they who were responsible for the growing, harvesting, weaving. Silk quickly grow into a symbol of status and originality. So now go to the question again. Answer should be women. Go to the question again. Only women were allowed to produce silk. This paragraph. In this paragraph, and if you read the paragraph here, originally silkworm farming was solely restricted to women. It was they who were responsible for growing, harvesting, weaving. That means women were allowed to grow and harvest the silkworm. So answer here, number question 3, we found women and silk. Same thing. Number 4 question, number 3, number 4 question. Only were allowed to wear silk. Who were allowed to wear silk cloth? Now, same paragraph. You can find the answer. Same paragraph. If you read the rest of the line, you can try to find out the answer. Rest of the line, you can find the answer. Harvesting and weaving, silk quickly grow into a symbol of status. Originally, only royalty wear, that means royalty, somewhere royalty wear, entitled, that means they were allowed to entitled to have clothes made by the silk. So number 4 question answer we got. Who were allowed to wear the silk? Please. Archana, please, can you tell me who were allowed to wear the silk?
this question.
Royalty or one? Royalty? Were they royalty? They talk about the only royalty. They talk about that only royalty for silk. Only royalty were entitled to have clothes made by silk. So question is that only royalty were allowed to wear, and entitled means they can wear, they can use the silk cloth. So answer should be royalty. You can have the answer clearly. Now go to the next question. Silk used as a form of, in same paragraph. In the paragraph you can find answer. Silk used as a form of silk use. as a form of. If you read the rest of the line, use
Currency,
as
sir.
a form. Currency, good, currency. Now we have to confirm the rule where gradually relax over the year until finally during the quench density even with lines, cloth, silk, the rule where gradually relaxed of the until finally relaxed to the finally until finally doesn't events. Okay, number 5 question. Question number 5. Question number 5. We have to see question number 5. Silk used to. Okay, question number 5. How they used to sell. Rest of the line. If you read the line, lawyers state were made until were sold sometime during the Hans density.
Unit of currency.
It was so fragile, it was used to. The line is answered. It was used to as a unit of currency. Answer you find. That means silk was used to as a currency. Answer question number 5. Silk used as form of currency. Answer would be currency. Next question. Number 6 question. Evidence found of made from silk round 1600 AD 168 AD. Now the main focus of the question, evidence found, where they are making evidence found in the paragraphs. Rest of the paragraphs, you can find evidence found. Rest of the lines, when you find 186 AD, this line you have answered the earlier indication. The earlier indication before the line, before the line fishing, before the line fishing, lines, busts, strings, musical instruments, and paper were all made using silk. The earlier indication of silk paper being used was discovered in the terms of noble who is estimated to have died around 186 AD. Same information you can have in the question. But you have to find missing word. Evidence of, yes. What answer? Evidence of made from silk. What evidence have you find? In 186 AD, what evidence have you found? Read again, evidence of find, read again the line. You can confirm. The earlier indication of silk paper, being used, that means they used to use paper, discovered as a term of noble person who is estimated to have died around 168 AD. So the question, you have to understand the question. Evidence of paper, that means in that time, not term, paper, not terms. Evidence of paper made from silk around 168 AD. Then if you make confirm, read the line. Evidence of making paper, read the line again. The earlier indication of silk paper being used was discovered in the tomb, not tomb, in the tomb. Paper was used in the tomb as a tomb of a noble person, tomb of a grave of noble person who estimated to die around 168 AD. So answer, if you look at the question again, you can confirm evidence of paper made from silk found around 186 AD. Not Tom. Tom means grave. Grave of noble person. They use as the grave paper they use. Next thing, number 7 question. You have to find out the main key points. Silk reads rest of the wall. Now you have to find out the things in the market of the wall where it is raised, where it have been transported. Number 1 point, Marston used silk road to take silk westward and bring back dash and precious metals. Once you understand the question or main point of the question, you can find the answer in the passage. Rest of the line you can have. In this line, you can have the answer. From here, if you read from here, because every question follows sequence, and you can find out answer from the first line. And if you read the next line in here, demand of this exotic fabrics eventually created the electric trade route now known as the Silk Road, taking silk westward and bringing gold, silver, and wool of the east. It was named the Silk Road after the most precious commodity, which was considered to worth more than gold. You have the answer in the line. You have the answer. If you read the question again, you can ask what will be the answer. What will be the answer? Question. Read the question. Marston used silk root. Marston in that time used silk root to take silk westward and bring back what they bring back and precious metals. What they bring back?
Gold,
In
sir.
line? Wool. Okay, wool. They bring back wool. Wool to it. May confirm the line. Demand of the exotic fabrics eventually created the trade route now known as the Silk Road. Not gold, silver. Samia Khan, not gold, silver. Read again. And westward and bringing gold, silver, and they bring back gold, silver, and wool to the east. Now read the question. Marston used silk to take silk western and bring back, they bring back precious material mean gold, silver. Next one will be the old. Precious metal mean gold, silver. So you cannot write the gold, silver. Gold, silver mean precious metal. So answer, you better to write only old. Old is answer. Now next question. 550 AD dash hide silkworm egg in hand and take them to Constantinople. So 550 AD, in this line, just read the 550 AD.
The middle of
Then
the
you
next
can have
paragraph.
okay, 550 AD. What thing they invented? Okay, which line have you find? 550 AD. Which line? Which line? Can you please confirm which line? 550 AD. Okay. 6 kilometer. China, Western Links, Afghanistan, east with the major trading market discussed, merchants and Merchants trouble. And China's Malvains country, the rest of Spain, and okay, in this paragraph, you can have 500. Your main word is 500, 550 AD, 550. This paragraph. Istanbul in modern day Turkey in 550 AD, concealed inside whole bamboo walking canes. The Byzantines were as secretive as the China. However, we have to read from this line. With the Malvorian, Malvorian China country was sold products silk many hundreds of the year. Secret of silk making eventually reached to the rest of the world via this line, via Byzantine Empire, which ruled over the Mandalorian regions, Southern Europeans, North Africa, Middle East, and during this period, 330 to 1453 AD, according to the another legend monk. According to the another legal monk working for the Byzantine Empire, Justin suggested that silkworm egg to Istanbul to the modern in 550 AD. Now we got the answer. If you read the question, you got the answer. Merchant used silk to take silk was one and bring back. We have 550 AD. Monks hide silkworm egg in the cans and take them to the temples. Read again the answer you can have. In 550, the line you can have to confirm. Where do you have 550 AD? The line starts from the according to the. You have to read the line. According to the another legend, monks working of the Byzantine Empire, Justin suggested silkworm egg to Constantinople, to the Turkey in 550 AD. Concern eyes inside whole bamboo walking cans. So answer is the monk. Go to the next question. Next question is 20. Every question have main word. 20th century dash and another man-made fiber was declined in silk production. So the main thing is the 20th century. You have to focus on 20th century. Then what was missing? Another man-made fiber is the main word was declined in the silk production. Now go to the passage and where they talk about 20th century. 20th century. 20th century.
Last passage. Sir.
Okay. Byzantine. Okay. 70th century. 70th century. The question is 20th century. Okay. 7th century contrabands and lanes for fibers. Okay, in this passage, we have to find 20th century. 20th century. Yes, this line. 13th century. 13th century. 19th century. 19th century. Okay, in the line you can have 20th century, 19th century, 19th century, then 20th century. If you find the line 20th century, you can have answer. Please read the line 20th century. Read the line 20th century. Can you find the line 20th century?
Yes, sir.
Then
Then in the 20th century, the new man-made fabrics such as nylon start to be used in the what had traditionally been silk products, such as stockings
and
and
process. Okay. Now go to the question again. Then you can understand which word is missing. If I go to the question again, nylon. Okay, 20th century nylon and other man-made fiber cause decline in silk production. Now, I like to know from the persons. Okay. I think you, Aki Moni, can you please tell me, Aki Moni, did you understand the technique?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is in IELTS reading. There are 7 types of questions you have to answer. Now we answer fill in the blanks. In terms of answering fill in the blanks, you can follow this strategy. Read the question first and focus your main things. Then go to the passage. Every question follow the sequence. So you got all the answer from the beginning to the end. But focus is that in 20 minutes you have to read the last passage and you have to answer 13 questions. That's why we follow technique. Now true false not given. And earlier classes I have given lots of instruction to answer true false not given. And I like to request Abdul Rahman, can you tell me what technique you follow to answer true false not given?
Yes, sir. Firstly, I read designation true false not given. Besides, sir, I can't.
If you understand the question, you have to find out the main word. Then go to the pages.
Firstly, I chose keyword.
Keyword or main word. When you find out the main word of keyword, but finding keyword is not easy, because if you don't understand the question, if you don't understand the meaning of the question, it is difficult to find out the key points. Once you find key point of the question, then go to the passage, follow the sequence. Now we already read many things. Then we have to move to the way. Once you find the key points, you have to move to the question where the answer. Please, Abdul Rahman, can you read the question number 10 and tell me the key points? Question number 10. Please, Abdul Rahman, read the question number 10.
Most valuable material.
Yes. Gold was most valuable material transported along with the silk. I think you understand the question. They are talking about the gold was very important material, very important good. They transported with silk roads. They transported silk road. They transport gold on the silk road. So Abdul Rahman, what is the main word?
The valuable material.
No, main word is gold. Gold is main word. Gold is main word. So now you have to go back to the passage where they are talking about the gold, and I can screen. You don't need to read the meaning, just screen in the last paragraph. There is no gold. We have to move to the back. Move to the back from the beginning. Just at a glance read from the beginning. There is no gold. There is no gold. There is no gold. Just rapidly scan. Give a screenshot by your eyes. Just stop the line when you find the goal. There is no
Sir,
goal.
passage number 3.
Passage number 3. Okay.
Sir, I think it's the last line, the front page.
Okay. Okay. Last line. Yes, last line on page. Can you read the line?
Gold, silver, and wool.
Okay. Demand for this toxic fabrics eventually created the lucrative trade road now known as the Silk Road, taking silk westward and bringing gold, silver, and wool to the east. So what will be the answer? Is it true, false, or not given?
The next line we have need to read. It was the named the Silk Road after its most prestigious commodity, which was considered to be a worth more than gold.
They talk about they westward. They bring gold, silver, and wool to the east. It was named Silk Road. Question talk about gold was the most valuable material transported along the Silk Road.
Sir,
Is it right or wrong?
Sir, among
False,
gold,
sir. Wrong.
False. Not only gold. They among
Also be a sir. Yes, sir.
among silk, among wood, they also false. Thank you. So the technique is that between question and passage, if you find similar information, this is right. If you find negative information, this is wrong. If you never find similar or something is missing, this is not given. So between question and answer, this is the question saying gold was the most valuable. That means only gold they transported on the Silk Road. But the passage talk about that. Not only gold, but also many material as well. Silk, wool, or others. Not only gold. On Silk Road, taking toward bringing gold, silver, and wools. So answer should be false. Now you can have answer rest of the line. Rest of the line you can have answer. Read the question again. Read the question. Question number 11. Can you read the question? Can anyone read the question number 11 and find out the main word?
Gold was the most valuable materials transported along with the sea.
No. Question number 11. 11.
11, sorry.
The
most tradesmen only went along certain section of the Silk Road.
Silk Road. What is the main point? What is the main point of the question? If you understand the Martian, most of the Martian, tradesmen mean Martian, synonym what? Only went along the certain section of the Silk Road. Now go to the paragraph. Go to the paragraph to find answer. Here you have the answer. If you read, the main word is Martian. There you go. Did you find about the Martian? Where they travel the way of Martian?
Yes, sir.
The Martian.
From here, the merchandise was shifted
across the Mediterranean Sea. Across the Mediterranean Sea. Confirm the line. Read the whole line. Read the whole line.
Few merchant travel the entire route, good and handle most by the series of middlemen.
From there, merchandise was shifted across the Mediterranean Sea. Few merchants traveled to entire route. Goods were handled mostly by series of Mediterranean. So the information you get in the paragraph, you have to match with the question. What did the question say? Most tradesmen mean merchant only when alone certain section of the Silk Road.
Not given away.
False. Yes, false. Because this is false because in the question they say most of the merchant went to the certain section of false, certain section, but the question passes say most few merchant, not most few merchant travel the entire road. Negative. Question say most of the. Passes say few. Say entire. Okay, entire. Okay. Few merchant travel the entire road. Goods were handled mostly by the series of middlemen. So there is a negative information. That's why it is false. Thank you. Next question. Question number 12. Question number 12. I like to request to read Aki Moni. Aki, could you please read the question number 12?
The Byzantines spread the practice of silk production across the West.
Okay, what is the main thing of the question? Can you tell me what is the main thing of the question?
Byzantine.
Byzantine. The Byzantine appeared the practices of silk production across the West. Two things. Some group of people, they are called the Byzantine. They have spared their trade, silk production across the Western country or West. Now go to the passage. The line you have Byzantine. Have you find something Byzantine in this paragraph? Have you find something about Byzantine in the paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Aki, can you please tell me in the paragraph, are there any Byzantine?
Yes, sir. Byzantine Empire, the secret of silk eventually.
So you have to read the line. You have to read from the beginning. Where do you find the secret marketing from the beginning of the line? The secret silk marketing eventually reached to the rest of the world. Eventually reached the rest of the world via the Byzantine Empire, which ruled over the Mediterranean region, Southern Europe, North America, Middle Eastern period, the period 330 to 1453 AD. Now you have to read the question again. And Byzantine Empire, the practice of silk production across the West. True, false, or not given?
So it's false. Not only the West, but also in the South part and Africa, so many parts.
Yes. So not only Byzantine secret silk marketing eventually reached to the east of the world via Byzantine Empire, which ruled over the Mediterranean region, Southern Europe, North Africa, Middle Eastern rulings in the period. So not West, Europe, they have gone to the not only West, they also Asia and Africa. So false. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, false. The question number 13. Question number 13, I like to read the Sweetie will read the question number 13. Sweetie. Please, Sweetie will read the question number 13. Silk yarn make up the majority of silk currently exported from China. The main thing of silk yarn, this is the main word. Silk yarn is the main word. Make up the majority. Silk yarn make up the majority of silk currently exported from China. So if you understand the question, you can find location and you can match with the true false not given. Silk yarn. Where it is silk yarn? I think in the paragraph. In this paragraph, you can have silk yarn. From China, Middle Easterns, monk working done suggested the 15th century bamboo Byzantine was secretive as the Chinese. However, from many centuries, women's trading silk fiber was strict in imperial monopoly. Then in 17th century, Arab conquered Persia, capturing their magnificent skill in the process. Skill silk production spread through the Africa, Sicily, Spain, Europe. Shipped to those islands. Andalusia in southern Spain was Europe mixed silk producing center to the 10th century. By the 13th century, however, Italian has become Europe leader in silk production and exported. So nothing information regarding this.
Silk yarn, talk about silk yarn in the last passage, the last line.
Last passage, can you please read the line?
However, the most recent decades, China has gradually recamped the position as the world's biggest product producer and exporter of the raw material silk and silk yarn. Today, around 125,000 metric ton of the silk are produced in the world, and almost 2/3 of that production takes place in China.
Okay, which paragraph have you find? This is the last paragraph.
So, last paragraph, the last line.
Last paragraph, last line. Okay. However, in more recent decade, China has gradually recaptured its position in the world biggest producer and exporter of raw silk and silk yarn. Okay, good. That means China recaptured. Today is around 125,000 metric ton of silk were produced in the world, and almost 2/3 of them production take place in China. So I have to match with the question now. Question, what did the question say? Samia can say not given. Okay, not given. I have to match. Silkworm make up, silk yarn make up the majority silk currently exported from China. So the information between the passage and question is not matching. Passage say, however, in the more recent decade, China has gradually recaptured the position of the world biggest producer, exporter of raw silk and silk yarn. They have captured. Today, around 125,000 metric ton of silk were produced in the world. Almost 2/3 of the production take place in China. So there is confused between the questions. Questions say silk yarn make up the majority silk. Silk yarn make up the majority silk currently exported. There is no information about exported from China. China have recaptured. They spare, but no export import. That's why this is not given. I think I can make you understand. There is a complex information. Passages say about passages talk give information about the China have gradually recaptured position of the production of silk market, yarn market. They already have produced 100 to 25,000, 100,000 ton, but there is no information regarding exported or imported. That's why this is not given. I think you understand the strategy. And I like to know from Aki Moni. Aki Moni, did you understand the strategy?
Yes, sir.
Two parts not given.
Yes, sir. Totally.
Please comment your view. Is it helpful to you or not?
Yes, sir. It's helpful for me.
Because IELTS reading is very challenging for one thing. Your time is very limited. So if you start reading from the beginnings, you need to waste your time. That's why we recommended not to start from the passage from the beginning. Just read the question very well. Focus the question main theme, main word, then skin and scheme. Find the location of the passage, then you can find the answer. So
Yes,
if
sir.
you are targeting to get 8 score, the technique will help you to save your time and to make correct 35 answers. But you need practice more and more. You need to know the vocabulary. You need to know the synonym word. You need to make a habit of reading English magazine, English newspaper, or English article as well. Then gradually you can improve your reading skill. Because earlier I have mentioned in the IELTS reading, there is nothing common. As you have common passages, common question in your academic exam. But in IELTS, there is no such thing you can have. That's why you need to follow some technical strategy and you need to practice yourself. Then you can make correct, ensure you 8-point score in the IELTS reading. Now we can try to answer the question. And I have recommended to you to collect Cambridge books from Cambridge 11 to Cambridge 16 books and read the Cambridge passages, identify your uncommon word. In the classes, we are helping our learner to find out answer. Now, directly we go to the question, not reading the passages. And we all try ourselves to find out answer, and I will help you. Your times is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For 5 questions, your time is only 7 minutes. Let's try to find out answer, please. Your time is only 7 minutes to find five questions. Please try to answer, and I'm going to help. Time is only 7 minutes. Question number 40. And I like to request to Aki Moni to read the question number 40.
Local gulls and migrating Arctic terns behave in the same way when offered food.
Okay, the question means that local gull and migrating Arctic tern behave the same way when offered food. So, Aki Moni, what is the main word? Which is the main focus? Can you please tell me? Which word you will find in the passage? You understand local gull and migrating Arctic. This is the main word. Tram behave their behavior in the same way when offer food to community local call Arctic term. They behave same way when they offer. Main word is the offering food, and to community local call and migrating Arctic terms. Now, where you have the final answer, we have to go through the we read the question from the beginning. Basis from the beginning. Just find out the two community called it's called local gods. Can you start reading to find the answer? Local gods. Aki Muni, please, from the beginning. Just find out the line local gods and migrating artists. Where do you have find? Please start from the read from the line beginning. Animal migration from the beginning. Animal migration is defined far more just a movement of animals slowly descend travels that take place in the rural investor open annual cycle that involve many members of the species out along the long journey is suggests travel to the by high things dense defines. There's nothing about the local. We have to read the more things. They produce Jane they move special. No, nothing about. Then we have to move the next one. And there is the term and Arctic's turn. We got some information. Turn on 20,000 kilometer flight from the extreme South Africa, South America of the past Arctic Circle will take no notice of a nice smelly hovering over from a bird watcher boat long away. Well, local gull will drive vicariously for such handles, then turn pylons. This is information. Now, Aki Moni, if you did you understand the things? The passage, the top.
It's quite difficult.
So read the line again. Read the line again. An Arctic turn on its 20,000 kilometer flight from extreme south of South America to the Arctic Circle will take no notice of a nice simply hiring offer from a bird watcher boat along the way, while local gull will drive vocaciously for such handout. The turn filed on. No, this is not given. I think this is read the question again. Local gull and migrating Arctic tern behave same. Are they behaving same? Samia Khan, are they behaving same? Read again. Now they are not behaving same. They're behaving same for the food. And this is read again. Samia Khan, read again. An Arctic tern on 20,000 kilometers. They fly 20,000 kilometers. The bird fly 20,000 kilometers of South American to the Arctic Circle will take no notice for nice smiley hiring offer from bird watcher boat along with the way. Well, different behaviors. Well, local gull will drive because you see for such handouts. The term filed on. Why? The Arctic chain rest destruction because it driven at the moments by an intensive sense of something we human find admirable. So are they behaving same or different? Amir Khan. They are not behaving same. They are behaving different. That's why answer local gulls and migrating are trained behave same way when they offer food. What do you think? Are they behaving same or not for offering food? Okay, we have to make confirm. We have to make it confirm. Well, Guel will drive Bakiasi for the handout, then file. Why the Arctics train skip the instruction of finding food? Have you find any food information? Americans will take no notice of a nice simply hiring offer from a bird watcher boat along the way, while Gulfs will drive Bocasiosi for such handout, then turn pylons. Why the Arctic stands rustic destruction? Because it was driven at the moment by an intensive sense of some things we human find admirable, large purpose. In the other word, it is determined to reach the destination. The bird sense that it can eat. Rest of the more later. Right now is totally focused on journey. It undivided the in is arrival. So true, false, or not given.
False, sir.
What do you think? No, this is true, not false. In terms of rest of the line, in terms of they are talking about the in the other word, it determined to reach the destinations. The bird sense it can eat rest of the meat later. Right now, it totally focused on the journey. Their behavior is not same, but in terms of finding food, they smell. They find the sense of the smellings. So they are in terms of finding what their behavior is same, but they have different behaviors. But rest of the line you can find in the other word. It determined to reach the destination. The bird sense, two bird sense, that's it can eat rest and meat, rest and meat later. Right now, it's totally focused on the journey. Its undivided intent is arrival, reaching more bravely, slowly, action. So their action in terms of food is same. That's why it is true. I think it's true. The next question you can have to go. Question number 15. Expert definition of migration tend to vary according to their idea of study. Expert definitions of migration tend to vary according to their area of study. Now the main thing is expert definition of migration. What the expert is defining about migrations tend to vary according to their area of study. Now we have to go the line where the expert talking about, and we can have from the beginning about expert regarding migrations, animal migrations, definitions, define. There is the expert define the definition. Define is a far more than the movements of animals. It can be loosely be described by travel as a travel that take place in the regular intervals, often in an annual cycle that may involve many members of the species. It is rewarded only after long journey. It suggests inherited instinct. The biologist Hunt Down has identified have 5 characters that apply in varying degrees. So there is some expert We have to find some more thing about sport. Definition, there is a definition. And we have to go to the question again. Expert definition is of migration tend to vary according to their area of study. So we have to confirm about the study tend to vary, whether it is vary or not. Character that apply, 5 character apply in varying degree and combination to all migration. They are prolonging movements, they are prolonged movements that carry animal outside similar habits. They tend to be linear, not zanging. They involve species, spatial behavior, concerning preparation such as overfeeding and arrival, demand space, location, energy. So what do you think? Definition of expert are very or same? What do you think? What do you understand? Okay. Very, okay. Is very. Expert definition tend to be very according to the study. So Samia can say true. Other one, Mr. Nazmul Islam Riyad, what do you say? Is it true or false? Mr. Nazmul Islam, what do you say? Is it true or false? Samia say very. Difference. Expert definition of migration tend to vary depend on their study. Tend to vary mean not difference, vary on their study. What do you understand by reading from the paragraph? It depends on the study or not? Samia, what do you say? Is false or true? What do you say? Is this false answer or right answer?
I think true, sir.
Why do you think true? Have you read the paragraphs? No, Samia Khan, is not true. It is false. Because if you read from the paragraph, animal migration, however, it is defined as far more than just movements of animal. It can loosely be described as a travel that take place in the regular interval, opened in an annual cycle that may involve many members of a species, and it is rewarded only after long journey. It suggests inherited in instinct. Biologist Hailey Hung Dine has identified 5 characters that apply in variety of degree and combination to all migrations. They are prolonged movements that carry animals outside familiar habits, and they tend to be linears, not descending. They involve spatial behaviors, connecting preparation. So all things indicate me, depend on the study. That's why it is very according to study, is very. That's why it is false. And it's not very, tend to vary on according to study. Not the study is same, study is not difference. This is true, this is false. If you have to match between the question and answer in the paragraphs. The next question number 16. Very few experts agree that the movements of heads can be considered migration. Very few experts agree that the movements of apes can be considered migrations. If you understand the question, you can find main word. Few experts agree the movements of main word is the movements of apes. Where you have the apes word, the word apes, you have to find out. Okay, go to the passage from the past, the word appears, then you can have the answer. I think in this paragraph, you can have the words. Yes. In this paragraph, if you read, but daily vertical movement by the turbulent current in the ocean and upward by night to seek food, downward by day to escape predator, can also be considered migration. So can the movements of the aphids when having depleted by young leaf on one food plant, their offspring then fly onward to a different host plant, with no one appears even returning to where it is found. So the answer, question and between answer, what do you find? Read the question again. Very few experts agree that the movements of aphid can be considered migration. So this paragraph, you have to match in here. Are there any arguments of this part in the paragraph? Daily vertical movement by joplins in the ocean. Some person named Joplin Chon, a person in the ocean. Upward by night to seek food. Downward by to the escape predictor can also be considered migration. So can movement of aphids when having depends young leaves, no food. And then Daniel is an evaluating biologist who study insects. So in terms of the movements of aphid, are there any arguments? I think there is no arguments. That's why answer should be not given. There is no argument, answer should be not given. Question number 17. Aphids journey are affected by stains in the light when they perceive. So the line we can have with same line, journey, about their journey. Regarding their journey, what they say, aphid journey are affected. Journey, aphid journey are affected by change in the light of day perceived. We have to go to the journey, vertical, upward, and night to seek food, downward, day escape, predator.
Next passage, next
Okay.
next passage, they allow for the fact that, for example,
they allow for the fact then, for example, a paid well, okay,
become sensitive to the blue light when it's
okay,
time
blue,
to take off their big journey, and the
they are
sensitive
big, okay,
to the
sensitive yellow light when it's appropriate to the land, but okay, but
I think so
to
too.
well fallen themselves with the heavy feeding with the advance of along migration flight. So we got information. The question say a fate's journey were affected by chains of the light. Are they affected chains of light or not?
Effective, sir.
Is there any
True, sir.
info influence the light?
Yes, sir.
There is. Look again. Become sensitive blue light affection from the sky when it's first time to take ups of their big journey, sensitive to the yellow light. This is difference yellow and blue. This affection. So answer should be true. Next question. Question number 18. Dingle a person aims to distinguish between the migratory behavior of different species. The main word is Dingle's aims. Their aims of the distinguish between the migratory behavior of different species. You have to go to the next paragraph. In this paragraph, Dingle aims. Where the dingle is? Dingle is here.
Next line.
Dingle is here. Dingle is, we have to read from the dingle is an evolutionary biologist who study insects. His definitions is more in strict, is more and integrated than vision. Sitting to the 5 future distinguish migration from other from the movements. They allow for the fact, the example, birds become sensitive yellow light and to take up their journey sensitive to yellow light when it's appropriate to the land, but will fallen themselves with heavy feeding in an advance of long migratory flight. The value of the definition dingle hours, there is line, dingle hours is that it focuses attention on what? Phenomenon of well-best. Migration share with the phenomenon of fits, then therefore help guide recharger toward understanding how evaluation has produced them all. So the question we have to find true, false, or not given. Question again. Dingle aim to distinguish between migratory behavior of the different species. What do you think? True or false? What was the dingle aims? Was the aim between the migratory part or different species? What was his aim? His aim was Dingle asked that the focus attention on what phenomena of well-based migration share with phenomena of effects. So his aim only for the migration part, not for other species. That's why the answer will be false. Dingle aims only for the migration part. That's why answer should be false. Now our homeworks to solve yourself this question. This is about the completing sentence. You cannot do. I will help you in the next classes, and you can answer this question yourself. Fill in the blanks. You can answer fill in the blanks question yourself, and I will help you read the passage 1. You have to read the passage 1 and read the passage 1 yourself. We will try to answer this question in the next classes, as well as this question in the next passage. This question we will try, and you are requested to read the passage number. This passage will read. The passage you will read, and next classes we will try to solve. So Cambridge 11, task 3, passage number 2, passages 2 and 3. you are requested to read, and we will try to solve the answer. If you try to solve your answer, you can try and we will help. So thing is that if you have questions, I like to know from the okay. I think if you have question, you can ask me regarding the classes, or I recommend you practice yourself reading some passages and try to find out answer as the technique I am giving you. So I think, do you have any question or not? Okay, thank you very much for the classes today. And next classes we will meet again. And I hope so to try yourself at your home, collecting the basis. Thank you very much.